Hi and welcome to ABC Hansen Africa. We're hanging with Hubert. I'm Marion van Niekerk, and with me today again we've got Josie Souza from Nogueira Machines. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the silo bag loaders and unloaders that are on offer from ABC Hansen, manufactured by Nogueira. Josie, tell us a little bit about the NSG 9200.
Okay, thank you for having me here. Nogueira NSG 19200 is a silo bag which you can storage different types of grains, which can be maize, soya, sorghum, etc. All right, so it's a 9 feet machine, or it can receive a 9 feet bag, sorry, and that bag can be, like, for example, 60 meter up to 150. All right, and basically serves to you to storage all the grains that you have. And with one machine like this one, you can put all of your crop inside in it, and you can storage for many time. All right, basically it saves your money in terms of storage. All right, you doesn't have to make like a big structure, of steel and everything. Like on machine like this one, you can storage your grains, and if you can produce different bags.
Because even if you have small quantities of a certain grain and you have large quantities of the other grain, you can do 3 bags of soya beans, for example, and 15 bags of maize on the same site, which typically you can't do in a steel silo.
Exactly. And the amount of the grains, it's bigger, so you can storage whatever you want. All right. Well, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the machine. All right, that machine has an auger which has a 6.35 millimeter in its auger. It is different.
It's the thickness of the auger.
Exactly. All right. What we see normally in the market is auger which is less than 3 millimeter. All right. And what it means, with the passing of the time, the auger is start to wear out, And when you have this auger with 6.35 millimeter of thickness, it takes longer, Your machine, it's more durable, all right? Well, it's a machine which is well known already in many countries, all right? And it's good for us that you have a great partner here, so we can introduce this machine on the market. All right.
Tell me something. What's the diameter on the auger on the NSG 9200?
All right.
And the capacity. So that will relate obviously to capacity for loading.
All right. Good question. Well, you mean the capacity of the bag, right?
Of the loader. How many tons per hour?
Good question. You can load up to 180 tons per hour. So you can put too much product in the machine, and the machine is going to absorb all this product, to produce the bag. It's 180 tons per hour, but can be up to 220. All right.
All right. And that's in continuous use.
Exactly.
All right. Tell me, Josie, there's always been a thing in South Africa about silo storage bags, on the longevity of the storage and the losses in the bags. What has been Nogueira's experience in this for longer term storage in silo bags for grain losses?
Well, good question. When we storage the grains, we want it to take longer, isn't it? So thinking about it, depends of the quality of the bag, but it stays like 1 year, 2 years, up to 3 years storage. Of course, depending of the condition that you use storage, isn't it?
How well it stores is basically dependent on a couple of factors, right? So that would be how clean the grain is going into the bags, what the moisture content is of the grain going into the bags, and then, as you said, the bag condition. And you have to check the bags almost daily. You have to check the bags for damages, because again, the thing is, oxygen is the enemy You don't want oxygen getting into that bag to start oxidation, right? And also you have to check for rodent damage and bird damage.
That's true.
For that. So as we said, one of the main factors in determining the storage length, the time of storage, time of safe storage, is the cleanliness of grain, right? So ABC Hansen has a solution for that. If there is some grain coming off of the fields that is dirty, you can use the eGrit grain cleaning machine, which is a mobile machine that you can move to the field or to the silo bag storage area and clean the grain. Then from the cleaner, take it directly into the silo bag loader, so you have a good clean grain in there to enhance the storage life of your product in the silo bag.
And once it is well preserved, let's say like this, the environment that this bag is, you can have this for many years, all right? So you can preserve your grains, like this is going to be all of, how can I say, out of danger, isn't it? Like of the environment and stuff, you know? And once you clean the environment where the bag is, basically it won't attract some creatures that you do not want to, for example the rats and etc.
Another option, another important thing to take into account is that when you're taking in the grain, insect infestation in silo bags is very difficult to treat after it's been bagged, and you're only going to realize you have a problem after it's been bagged, long after it's been bagged, because you are going to open it and you're going to see that you had an insect infestation. So a good thing to have there at the intake point is an insecticide applicator, something that'll dose something like AOBL 25 by InView, or a similar liquid type of insecticide, a contact insecticide. This is also a mobile unit that works off of 220 volt power, so very easy to move around. It has a 100-liter tank and can be moved from site to site very easily.
Mr. Mario, I'd like to tell you something about the NSG 9200. That machine, as the material, the grains, is storage without the oxygen to comes in, it preserves more the grains, you know. So you won't be an environment that can be, for example, to start to have, for example, bacteria and all of the things, you know, because it's the way that this is storage, you know, is going to be like without the presence of the oxygen, you know. And the worst enemy of our grain bagging, let's say like this, is the oxygen. And bagging with NSG 9200, it won't be a problem for you.
Then I'd like to talk about the silo bag unloaders. So that is the model NXT.
NXT 210. Okay, it's a debag which has two functions, which is I can debag, like I can take all of the grain outside of the bag, all right, and also with the same machine I can feed the grain bag. Like for example, there is let's say a deposit on this machine where you can go with your truck, fill it with grains, and you can discharge all of these grains inside of that machine, all right, inside of the machine, and the machine will transport all the grains and put inside of the grain bag.
So this will enable you, if you are not bringing in grain from the field with grain carts, if you're bringing it in with trucks and trailers, this will enable you to get the grain up into the silo loader, into the NSG 9200, without having another additional conveyor or another additional machine, right?
Exactly. So you can take the grains in and take the grains out with just one machine. All right. I'd like to talk about the debagging. It can be up 180 tons per hour of debagging. So it's too much material, too much grains you can take out of the bag per hour. So it saves time.
The bag loader, how does it control the compaction and the speed into the bags on the silo bag loader? So for example, we know on the silo and forage harvester we have brakes on the wheels itself of the forage of the silage bag loader. Does the silo bag loader have the same system where it has independent brakes on the machine itself, or are you braking it with the tractor?
Good question. Well, the machine which it's used for grain bagging has brakes in it. In the machine there are brakes, all right? So it's a machine that is easy to use.
So the working principle of the silage bagger and the silo bagger is that as the auger is pushing material into the bag, it's actually pushing the tractor away from the bag as the bag gets filled up. So you don't want that to happen too quickly, because otherwise you're not going to get good compaction and good bag filling in the bags. So what Nigeria have done is they have introduced independent brakes on both the wheels of the machine that you can set in between 30 and 40 bar for the brake line pressure, which will brake the machine so that you don't have to brake on the tractor itself. So the tractor is basically sitting there in not idling, running the PTO, but in neutral gear, and the bag loader will slowly push the tractor and the machine and itself forward as it fills the bags. It's important to set the pressure on these brakes correctly. Firstly, you don't want them to be too soft, because otherwise you don't get the correct compaction. The second reason is you don't want them to set them too hard, otherwise you get too much compaction, and then what happens is you overstretch the bag and you get either bag failure where the bag rips, or the bag has a weak point and the sun and the UV protection on it doesn't last as long as it's supposed to last. So Josie was telling me about a very interesting way to keep birds off of your bags, because birds apparently are a problem on your bags.
Exactly. So when we put poles, one on the top of the bag, like one on another side, and put a wire in it, all right, it prevents, for example, the birds to get in the under this bag, and if it crawl to I don't know, maybe scratch the bag. Right?
So they prefer to go sit on the wire instead of going to sit onto the bag directly.
Yeah, that's true.
So that raises an important issue, that the bags have to really be inspected regularly, at least twice a week, to make sure that there aren't holes in them and tears in them, and then also check on the stretching of the bags as you're storing. So each manufacturer of bags will give you a little ruler that you can put down on a specific place on the bag, that you can see the stretching in the bag to see if it's overstretched or if it's still okay. It's important then also to, as quickly as possible, patch any holes or tears that are in the bags to prevent oxygen from coming in. As Josie said, oxygen is the enemy of the storage process in these bags. Thank you, Josie, for being with us, and thanks for coming to South Africa and showing us and explaining to us how everything works from Nigeria. And we'll hope to see you again here soon. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you again on Hanging with Hubert.